Yeah, well, look, what I was trying to think what we bought for £1 off that bloke. But look, I've cleaned up the handle slightly. Okay, I haven't done it. And then covered it in wax. So the handles come up lovely. And just a good cleaning. That's a perfectly good, workable putty knife. And look, it's given us its name. It is, what is it called?
Now, are you reading that right? Because everything you've read wrong.
Something Sheffield. Go on then, read that then. No, let's read
Joseph Fenton Limited,
Oh,
Cutlers, Sheffield.
right, it's Joseph Fenton Limited.
Cutlers.
Yeah. Cutlers.
No,
Yeah,
Cutlers.
yeah, they made knives
Yeah,
and
but it
forks.
doesn't say cutleries, it says cutlers.
Does that mean they make knives and forks?
Possibly.
Cutlers.
Possibly, but it doesn't actually say cutlery.
Look at this one. So that's come up lovely. Perfectly workable. And then we've given this a bit of a clean up. Put that back on. Stuck it in the vise and hammered it downwards because luckily...
Look at the state of your greasy hands in my house.
Shush, I'm telling a story. Luckily, the handle comes all the way through, so I could give this a good bashing and hammer that back on.
Term.
Yeah, this was a bit loose, so I bashed it that way and tightened up the top, and then bashed it this way to get the finial, is it called? There's a name for that bit there. Well, anyway, to get that bit there back on there. Yeah, and then giving it a bit of wax. Lovely. And do you remember this one? Look at this. It was all gunked up, wasn't it? And you can see where somebody's thumb was busy scraping and there was gunge here. Stephen was right, that blade comes out, look. Stephen, look. So, Steve, but this looks good enough, that blade, for a while anyway. Nice little scraper. And this one comes from, Debbie, read that. Lincoln.
Renewable Hook,
Yeah.
number 62.
Yeah.
Scarston MFG, Manufacturing Co. Limited, London, England.
Yeah.
Patented 7927.
When I read it,
Also foreign parts.
When I read it, it said Lincoln.
Well, it doesn't say Lincoln. It says London.
London. Oh, okay.
London. Yeah, it's definitely London.
Yeah.
I think it's just missing the digits properly.
London. Oh yeah, it is London.
Well, you should know by now. Every word you read is the wrong.
Shut up. And this, well, I'm quite pleased with this. Do you remember this? I don't really mind the handle being like that. But do you remember this? It was
That looks like a little,
welding hammer.
I was going to say a little elf hammer. Hi-ho,
Hi-ho.
Yeah,
So I had me clouts. I had a clout, look. So I had to grind the clout into a sharp front. And then I shoved it down the side of the thing that's in the middle, and that's tightened it up quite nicely now. So that'll do. That's just brought it back from the brink. It was a rusty old thing in a thing. And then look at this one. Look at this. The clip in here. There's like a little clip. Do you see the clip that's inside? Well, inside there's like a little pocket or a little a cut in. So the clip had to come out and get turned around. So I brought the clip out, turned the clip around, put it in properly, cleaned it all up. Look at this. It's running really nice now. Yeah. So that what was causing, it was a bit rusty and whatever, but what was causing it to jam a bit was the clip that's inside it. There's a little clip, do you see it? It only goes in one way. Anyway, so I thought I would just, and then just sort of wipe the handle with WD. But you know, what I'm saying, I paid very little for this and this. Well, I paid very little for them all. And it just builds your tools. If I want to now a putty scraper, I've got a putty scraper, haven't I? If I need to get the blowtorch out and scrape paint off something or whatever, now I've got a scraper to scrape paint off with. you've got to, don't look at these things and think they're all rusty and in them tubs. You can bring everything back to life, back to usable. And that's what creates a shed full of useful equipment. And the fact that you've been all over this, you've scrubbed it, cleaned it. It's a bit like when you wash your car by hand, you get to know where every little scratch and dent is. Well, it's the same when you bring a tool back to life, because you've looked at it and cleaned it and fettled with it for a period of time. You know exactly what it is, and you know where you've put it in your shelves. You become friends with it. So these little rusty strangers full of rubbish that was on them, polyfill or whatever, it's told us our name. We've got a name for it, haven't we? And now they can go in the toolbox now, can't they? Yeah, even this one and this. Blimey, well worth, really, really well worth picking up. And then you can go 100% better and paint them and do whatever the hell you want with them. But don't walk around these car boots past boxes of tools thinking, oh, that's a horrible, filthy tool. I'm not going to pick that up. They soon clean up. They soon clean up. They soon transfer the filth onto your hands. Then, look, they're worthy. And then you've got them. And they've cost you virtually nothing, haven't they? So, yeah. That's the way to do it. That's the way to build up. So if have you got a putty knife? Yeah, I've got a putty knife. Have you got a scraper? Yes, I've got a scraper. Have you got a wrench? Yes, I've got a wrench. Oh, you got a little hammer? Yes, I've got a little hammer. Oh, you haven't got one of them big scrapers, have you? Yes, I've got one of those big scrapers. You know. Oh, and it took all of, half an hour. But I love cleaning them up and bringing them back to life. And you can do a lot better and stain and varnish and do all the other good things you can do to it. But this is just a quick rescue them from the brink. They were on the brink, weren't they? Brink of destruction, brink of being thrown in the bin. Well, I was looking at the film. These cameras can see such a lot, can't they? So there's two little markings here. What does that mean? What are those two little markings? Do you think this is a German one made for the German market? Is that a swastika or whatever that is? What is that? That looks like. And then what's next to it? What are those two? Wow. Why would you put them there? And what do they mean? Does anybody know? Does that denote the quality of the steel they've used, or two little marks above the name? I wonder what that's all about. Is that possibly a date? I don't know. Why would you put that there? Obviously it's there for a reason. Now that's made a little putty knife that you picked up in the car boot way more interesting. What do those marks mean? Are they date marks, do you think? Even the little hammer gave us its name. Look, gave up his name. Burton and Ball, Sheffield. Look at that. Burton and Ball. And if you wanted to, you could trim this up on the grindette, whatever you want to do with it in the, you can do what you want to it now. But it's just rescued it and brought it back to life for a little bit. And okay, the handle isn't the best, but I mean, you could either chop it off and reuse the handle for something else, or you could wait until you land on a handle for the amount of use you'll use it for. But just when you need one of those, maybe knock the weld off something, the slag off the welding, or get your hand on one, you need a little hammer. You've got a little hammer, haven't you? Funny enough, I quite like that handle. I quite, in that state, do you know what I mean? It sort of adds to its age. Yeah. I don't know, it would be dangerous. Would there be a danger of that snapping off and this thing coming towards your head at a great rate of knots? So would you have to do that, replace the handle just for the sake of safety, really? Because you wouldn't want this come flying towards you. Not that you're going to be swinging it round at one hell of a thing, but would you say that's no longer safe in the workshop? We shouldn't use tools with a handle deteriorated like that. What do you think? Or is that a perfectly good handle? Just keep an eye on it and don't smack it against something too often, because that's what's happened, isn't it? They've used it and abused it. So try not to use and abuse it any more than you have to. They've been bang, 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 tapping something in sideways, haven't they? So, Stephen, look at this. The handle said Germany, yeah? Registered design, Germany registered design, yeah? And we weren't sure about the blade. We hadn't seen one like this, but look at this. I don't know if I can pick it up with the camera. Yeah, can you see that? This is a made in England, Stanley. This is a Stanley blade. Can you see that? Just about, can't you? This is you've just got to get the focus and everything else just right on it. This is come on, we did have it. There we are. Have we got it? There we are. See, it's a Stanley. It's a Stanley made in England. You see on the back there, it says made in Stanley, England. Come on, come on. Where do we, there we are, I got it. Made in Stanley. See the England, E-N-G, England. So it's got I don't know if it's a Stanley holder. So we've got Germany, registered design, right? It says Roberts on the handle. Roberts, right? Yeah. And this is the great thing about finding rusty old tools and then discovering more about him. Made in Stanley. See that, Stanley? Come on. Nearly got it. Stanley, England. 1275 MR. Blimey, number 1275 MR. Wow. It's great. It's great picking stuff up, isn't it? That's the fun of going car booting and finding something and then bringing this back and polishing it up. I mean, it's nowhere near as shiny as you could get it. You could get this absolutely gorgeous with a bit of, patience and a bit of a buffing wheel. Yeah. Wow. But we thought this blade had been adapted, but clearly not been adapted. It's made in Stanley, England. Blimey. Steve, we'll have to keep hold of them. We'll have to keep an eye on these, won't we? So, you want to know why I was attracted to this book and why I couldn't pass it up. He wanted a quid for it. I chanced him at 50p. A Reader's Digest book. Wow, look at this. It's in pristine condition. It's never been used. It's not got filthy hands on it. It hasn't been on tour, has it? It hasn't been banging around in the back of a vehicle, in the back of a car. And because it's a Reader's Digest one, first of all, the maps are amazing. They're just the same as OS maps. They're, and they're full of information. Little, and information is history, isn't it? And it's got, look, it's got town maps And, you know, it's all right trying to find industrial estates. There, everybody knows names of industrial estates. They can guide you in. But if you remember, we used to do residential deliveries. Wow, how difficult it is finding a house name, a house number, a street name. Bad enough. Then you've got to find the house number in the street, so that's okay, that's fair. But you try and find a house name in a street, in a town, in a one-horse town in the middle of nowhere. Look, it's got town maps. And yes, they build industrial estates, they put housings on them, but generally speaking, the towns don't change a hell of a lot. It might have a bit of a bypass put in it. Might have a ring road put round it, but generally speaking, town centre street names stay the same, you know. And I saw it had a fantastic touring section in it as well. So look, it had touring guides, and it tells you all about particular towns that you can find out, because you know the UK is a fantastic place. Well, when it's not piddling down with weather, you know, yeah, when you've had some fantastic weather, when you're and you're going wandering, it's worthwhile just having something like this on your shelf, hidden away. So if you're going to a particular place, you can just use it as a reference. The problem with internet, that type of thing, you have to know what you're looking for. You have to put the name of the damn place in for it to spit it out at you. And these books are never going to be produced again. Snowdonian Peninsula, you see, and what it says about it. It's, you know, you're not going to, these are going to die off. These are going to die off, and they're not going to exist. They might exist digitally. And also it has the London maps. I did see it's got a bit of travel information on it. I did see, now I still carry, I'll show you. Well, it's up in the attic. Remind me next time we get the maps out. I've got a bag. Remember, I'm a trucker. I've been doing deliveries for years, trying to get into these places. And I did see a London map. And the sat-navs tend to go blind. If you're inside, where the hell is it? It's in the front, probably. Look, it tells you all about the junctions and the motorways. It's you know, fantastic. Here we are. Here's the M25. You know, now we know if we're going into London, we come down the M1, we catch the A10, and we go into Cockfosters, and then we catch the underground from there, and that's always the route we're going that way. If you're going to Croydon, you've always got to come under the bottom into Croydon that way. But here, look, it's got Central London. Where are we? We've got Central London here somewhere. Did we have? I thought I'd seen it somewhere. We'll have it in here somewhere. Anyway, I carry a map because the sat-navs tend to go blind in London. If you're in and around the capital, your sat-nav will all of a sudden go, just to the very moment you need it, it'll go, I don't know where I am, or, this don't look familiar. So it's great in perfect condition for the little price that it is. And it's pick up one of these. So much information in them, so much information. And this is going to be history. When these die off, you give these to your kids, and your grandkids get hold of them. This is what's going to be, what it was like. Yeah. I'm a bit odd. I have got, as a trucker, we had big bags full of maps. If you had to do a delivery, you went to the town, you ran in, you got an OS map, or you got a little white city centre map, or you got, do you remember the red books, the red little maps, or an OS map? Maps are, and I see them in the car boots, bags full of maps, and I'm so reluctant to give them up, because maps have been so hard work. Maps have been such a part of my working life, you know. I can't let them go. I can't let them go. You can always rely and refer back to a map, can't you? If you're trying to explain something to somebody, or you've been there before, or what you got to do, you see, it's here. This particular place you're looking for, and it's great for explaining, and, yeah. Good. Nothing wrong at all with the digital world. Is great, but that's if you've got a battery. This doesn't need a battery, does it? This doesn't need a battery. It doesn't need a signal, and it doesn't need data. The maps, and you'll never get lost if you've got one of these. Even if you throw it in the back of your car, you'll never, if you're on holiday, you're wandering around. I know it's fun getting lost on holiday, but, if you have to make a detour and you see the colours, unclassified whites, and B roads and A roads, and, like an unclassified white, you wouldn't really want to go down them in the truck. Some of the B roads are marked as B roads, but they're like A roads. So I do use Google Maps a lot, and Google Earth, to look at the roads and see where I'm going. But obviously that's me as a delivery man. But if you had to find a place, if you'd gone to buy something, you're going to buy a dog, a pup, and you have to go up country to go find it. If you've seen something on eBay or Amazon, and it must be picked up, you've gone to get a piece of furniture or something in your life where you've got to go and find this house, this address. You've hired yourself a van. We do a lot of that with the bikes. If we want to buy a bike, we hire a van and go get it, bring it back, that sort of thing. Yeah, but wow, what a little gem to land on. Yeah, maps. Never disregard them. They will save your ass one day. Yeah. Okay. Amazon has got me hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. There were £6. I was on, I was 350 pieces. All those connections in there. £6. You can't, just these little cheap things, they all add up, don't they? And one day these are going to run out. We're not going to get them like this, and you're going to be paying fortunes for them. And I've got plenty, but now I've got a lifetime supply, or maybe now I've got 2 lifetime supply. It's quite nice having them in a nice little tray. And for the sake of, I think it was £6 or £6.50 to your door. Wow, I'm going to steadily start building up a kit of these bits and pieces, lifetime supply type thing. Yeah. And then of course, if you use, let's say we converted to that, because I actually haven't got many of these little ones. Say you use a whole load of them, listen to them, then you know what you've used and you know what to replenish, don't you? That's the good thing about these. Because how many times have you bought something and then you've bought it again because you think you didn't have any and you've got loads? So for that little amount of money, £6, delivered to your door, wow, can't go wrong, can you? And yes, Amazon has got me hook, line, and sinker. Well, my little munchkins, you get something and you look at it, and then you look at it again, don't you? I think this guy is a brother trucker, an older brother trucker. Let's follow the clues that we're given, what this piece of paper is telling us. So if we go to the very front, look, he's got categories. What do we got? We got categories A, B, and C. So if you have a look down here, he can drive category A, B, and C. Now, category is heavy locomotive, light locomotive, motor tractor, heavy motor car or motor tricycle, blah, blah, blah. But it says here, look, in addition, an additional license must be obtained before the public service vehicle, bus license, may be driven. No person under the age of 21 may drive a heavy goods vehicle. I'm sure the old boys didn't have to even take a truck license, did they? So we can drive B, which is a tractor, which most car people was tractor, wasn't it? And a mower. So that's road roller, track laying, agricultural tractor. So I reckon this guy is a brother trucker. Now, is he old enough that he has to have a license every year? So what makes me think that is if you look back here, we've got 55 to 56. He's from 55 to 56, right? Then we've got from 56 to 57. Then we've got from 57 to 58. Where does 4, 5, under here. 3, 4, 3, 4, 50, 53 to 54, 54 to 55, where was 55? 55 to 56, and then where was 56? 56 to 57, we saw that, didn't we? Where is 56 to, 56 to 57. This guy is a brother trucker. Wow. Do you know, I keep telling you, dead men talk to me. This license has found me to keep for safekeeping because he's a brother trucker. What do you think? Am I on the right track? What do you think? And of course, he's got Reginald in his name, and my name is Reginald. Weird, man. Weird. Is this brother trucker trying to talk to us?